So I'm sure many of you know about Venus Williams, who was the first black woman to win a big tennis championship. But before her time, many people judged black people as not capable of reaching such high levels, and this because they didn't see the big picture. And one of the reasons might be not because the black player was not capable, but because they might not have had like the financial like resources to be able to like pay for like coaching and other stuff that were required. And this happens in a lot of the world today, so I'm going to be talking about how to stop judging. So firstly, what is judgment? So judgment is like a constant mental activity in our brain, and it distorts how we see things. And yeah, it can be a source of suffering if like you judge yourself as inferior to others, because then you keep thinking that you're not good enough, or you like don't deserve to be um like other people basically. And so the nature of judgment, judgment is believed to be a natural human thing to do, but it's not actually. People think it's objective, but it's actually conditioned projection that distorts reality. So when we're judging someone, we don't actually see them like fully as they are. We see them through a lens of our own like assumptions previously. So um, yeah, basically um, yeah, judgment can be on yourself or on other people, or even on just objects as well. And for example, when you're like walking on the streets and you see someone that, and you see like a lot of different people, or if you see someone that like walks or talks differently, then you might immediately make a judgment about what type of person they are. And also maybe like in class, if you have a new teacher, like, and like you walk in and then you immediately start thinking about whether the teacher is going to be kind or strict, or whether they're going to be a good or bad teacher, just like how the teacher would probably judge if you were a good or bad student as well. So it happens all around us all the time. So secondly, what is the impact from it? Basically, it basically complicates things and then turns people into labels basically. So someone is either like good, bad, or right or wrong. So for example, maybe at school, if you see a group of like friends and like one person is like being excluded and left out, then you might immediately assume that the group of friends are the bad person. But in fact, that might actually not be the case. Maybe it's because the other person would always cause trouble and like other sorts of drama that you don't know. So you can't like immediately just say those are bad people and that's a good person and just label people. You have to be able to like fully understand the big picture before you rush to make assumptions, because they could very easily be wrong, and it could also like cause a lot of trouble in the future. So if you keep judging like people, then you might lose your sense of the present and keep on thinking about like, oh, like the past or the future, and you stop seeing clearly, and it becomes like a concept rather than a reality, because everything is so clouded by judgment and you can never see anything clearly, like just like objectively and not like being subjective. And it basically also limits the capacity to understand others, because when we are judging, we don't really listen to others, and we filter their words through like our brain. So if we like think of someone as a bad person, suddenly everything they say just becomes like an attack towards us, or like just something like negative, when in reality it could have just been like a simple comment. And this can also affect relationships and like understanding between people. So if like we keep judging people, then we're just like living in our own thoughts instead of in the actual real world. And like once we start judging, like we select the information that confirms the judgment and just like automatically removes information that contradicts it. And because for example, if you believe that you weren't good at playing the piano, then like every single mistake you do make when you play, it's just like further feeding into that judgment and proving that you're not good at piano, even if that's not true. And suddenly every good performance you do, it will all be ruined because you only focus on the negative aspects of it, because you genuinely believe that you're not good at piano. So you like weigh the mistakes a lot higher than the like the positive and like stuff that you do. So yeah, so if you believe you're not good, then every mistake will contribute and carry on that perception of yourself, even if it's not true. So where does it come from? So judgment is basically a tool to protect our ego and to give us confirmation. So going back to the piano example, it's giving like the fact that you see every mistake as proving your confirmation is just giving you confirmation that you're bad at piano, even if you're not. And it basically creates a separation of superiority over others or ourselves, because if we think we're not good enough, then we raise everybody else to be superior to us. And yeah, and it all comes from our fear of inferiority and being seen as like inferior to other people. So fourthly is how we start, like what's non-judgment. So basically it's not to eliminate all evaluation from others, but it's to, and like ourselves as well, but it's to aim to cultivate discernment. So discernment comes from awareness, and judgment comes from like fear, but fear of like inferiority and seeing stuff with a narrow lens. And with like discernment, it can help us to see the bigger picture of everything instead of just focusing on one point and not seeing anything else and just like assuming the rest. So yeah, basically it'll help you like see things as they are without any labels or like feelings attached to them, and just like judge it like rationally and logically. So yeah, it can also help like to have like, once you like clear your judgment, it helps you have clarity, and it can lead to true observations. And yeah, for example, like with Serena and Venus Williams, when they finally managed like prove that they were actually like really capable, and suddenly and then everyone else was able to see it like clearly that they actually were like super talented and like really big stars, and it led to like true observation and like seeing them without any judgment clouding them. So finally, let go. So basically, by letting go of judgment, it stops the mental friction, so that it opens space for acceptance, and basically it transforms relationships with yourself and others, because you're more willing to be open to let people in, because you don't judge them before you actually know them well. So in conclusion, I think the main points to take away are that like judgment, like it's not like natural, so it's possible to get rid of it, and that it's actually just it's conditioned projection that distorts reality. So it's not actually how the world is, it's just how you see it like through your narrow lens. And like secondly, that it's basically it's from our fear of inferiority, so it's just like a tool to protect our like ego and give us confirmation, and it's not necessarily true. And just like lastly, it helps like once we have like clarity, we can have true like observation, and once you have like discernment instead of judgment, then you can see things from the bigger picture. Like from the example with the friend at school, you'll be able to see the full picture of maybe that one person actually caused like a lot of trouble, and it's not like the other group of friends' fault for like excluding them. So I hope you learned something from today. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.